Sexualização infantil, ela não começou simplesmente quando o Felca colocou, ou ano passado, nem nada. Sexualização infantil, bem, como eu falei, eu nasci nos anos 80, então eu vi muitas coisas nos anos 90 que era tido como coisas bonitinhas, como a criança ralar na boquinha da garrafa, dançando tchan, entre outras coisas. Mas teve um caso muito feio lá nos anos 70, anos 80, e foi com a atriz Brooke Shields. E a gente vai reagir aqui a um vídeo do Sloan, né? Que ele conta um pouquinho com trechos de entrevistas dela sobre como que foi de verdade a infância dela. Vamos dar uma olhadinha aqui.
A victim of assault and was never going to talk about it. I don't know what they were thinking, but it's all about what's going to sell. And that's what they were focusing on. Child of an alcoholic learns at a very, very early age how to navigate a situation, how to read a room, and how to keep the person they love alive. My mama. I was protecting my mama.
Brooke Shields has lived through hell in Hollywood. From disturbing photo shoots with Playboy at the age of 10 to intimate scenes with grown men in her early teens.
Caraca, pousar pra Playboy com 10 anos de idade. Imagina isso, velho. Isso daí era anos 70, se eu não me engano. Total. E fazer cenas mais adultas com... Cara, aquele velho ali deve ser, tipo, nojento, mano.
Her mother forced her into work that left Brooke traumatized. So let's get into it.
Nesse canal do Sloan.
Talk about some of the traumatic moments that Brooke Shields survived in Hollywood. You guys may remember that she was just 10 years old when she posed nude for Playboy, which is just disgusting. I've made an entire video breaking that down and who allowed that to happen, and her mother is one of those people, even though Brooke still feels protective over her mother who put her in compromising situations.
Is it appropriate to portray that on screen using an 11-year-old actor?
It wouldn't be now. You couldn't get away with it now. We were in the 70s. Like, everything was being turned upside down.
Brooke Shields.
Cara, nos anos 70 tudo era mais doidaço, velho. Doidaço. Imagina, isso hoje em dia, como ela falou, não iria passar impune, né? Até mesmo porque tem toda uma parte da saúde mental. Pô, uma criança, né, velho? É muito difícil, assim, a gente pensar que, tipo, nossa filha, filho, a gente poderia fazer ela passar por isso. Hoje em dia, algumas pessoas fazem os filhos passarem por isso porque coloca aí pra escutar uns funks proibidões, mesmo sendo criança e tudo mais. Cara, vamos ser sinceros, meu. Nem vale a pena, mano. Nem vale a pena.
Shields says that she still feels protective over her mother despite having been made to post for Playboy at 10 years old. According to Brooke, her mother's choices about her career exposed her to explicit roles and situations, one of which was the photo shoot for Playboy. The reason why we're learning so much about Brooke Shields is because she's coming out with a documentary series where she's exposing all of these dark moments in her life.
In her People cover story out Friday, Brooke reveals why she waited this long to share her heartbreaking story.
It's taken me this long to process it, so I was never ready prior.
The shocking ordeal is part of her upcoming documentary, Brooke Shields' Pretty Baby. Pretty Baby is the title of her controversial 1978 film in which she played a child prostitute at age 11.
I can feel the steam inside me right through my trail.
Let's talk.
Eita, mano. Você pode ver, só pode sentir na voz dela, assim, que ela, não consegue falar sobre o negócio. Ela tá trêmula, ela falha na hora de falar. Cara, eu ainda vou assistir esse documentário aqui, porque deve ser, assim, realmente partir o coração, como ela fala. Não tem outra palavra para falar sobre isso.
Talk a little bit about Brooke's mother, because Terry has been criticized for allowing her young daughter to play a child prostitute in that movie Pretty Baby, which the documentary is named after. A lot of the times when we look at these child stars nowadays, their parents were absent, and that's how they were taken advantage of. But Brooke's mother, Terry, was right there and watched it all happen and just signed off to it.
I think Brooke's sort of like a work of art, and like any beautiful painting. I think the world should enjoy Brooke and view her.
And the world did. It was the 1970s, and Brooke was fast becoming one of the most recognised children on the planet. But it was also obvious that the line between art and exploitation was uncomfortably fuzzy.
And you yourself have said, and I quote, ever since Brooke was a baby, she's been encouraged to be sensual. So can't someone say to you that you are exploiting the sensuality of a child?
Well, if that's all I was doing, probably yes.
So her
Caraca, velho. Mano, imagina, desde bebezinho você tem que ser, tipo, sensual. Cara, mano, isso é muito errado, velho. Muito errado. É muito errado mesmo. Se hoje a gente acha, tipo, todas as coisas que acontecem extremamente errado nos anos 70, a pessoa tinha parafusamentos. Não é possível, velho. Não é possível. Pô.
Her mother knows that she exploited her child, which is kind of sick because it sounds like she's accepted it. But what's even sadder is that Brooke accepted it as well. She's been quoted saying, "Everyone always wanted me to be angry with her, but anger was just too sad for me to take when I looked at how insecure she was." And what Brooke is talking about is her mother's alcohol addiction, because her mother was constantly drunk. So it seems like Brooke was kind of taking care of her. Brooke described her Hollywood career as an escape as her mom, Terry's behavior became increasingly erratic and emotionally abusive. She said making movies was always her safety net. She wrote a book back in 2014 and revealed that her mother had struggled with her drinking all her life but refused to give up alcohol. Brooke included a letter written by herself at the age of 10 where she wrote, "Mommy, I beg of you, please stay without drinking," which is so heartbreaking that she's 10 years old writing her mother, asking her to stop drinking, but her mother wouldn't stop. She continues, "I had to contend with so much at such an early age. And there was resilience, but I also put on blinders as a defense mechanism." And there are a lot of horrific moments she's gone through, some publicly by the media. I mean, in one interview, Barbara Walters was questioning her and comparing herself to her. And at this point, Brooke is a child, so it's just so weird to watch.
She asked me what my measurements were and asked me to stand up. And she was like comparing herself to this little girl. And I thought, this isn't right.
I guess I'd compartmentalize a lot. But then when you see it all at once, I think, how did that little girl survive that?
So maybe Brooke's
Essa é uma boa pergunta. Como que essa garotinha conseguiu realmente, de verdade, sobreviver a isso? Porque você pega e faz um paralelo com os atores, por exemplo, mirins da Disney. Mano, tem um monte de ator que despirocou total, assim, ficou malucaço. Ficou doido, mano, que não sabe mais o que fazer. Você pega Lindsay Lohan, velho. Pô, poderia ter sido, tipo, a estrela. A mina. Mano, tem um jeito. Ficou, né, caiu nas drogas e tudo mais e ficou daquele jeito. Aí tem a Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes também pirou muito, mas pirou muito com a popularidade dela, ela ser famosa e tudo mais. E, mano, como que a Brooke Shields não tipo, pifou? Como?
mother, Terry, is a terrible mother. But when it comes to her father, it seems like he was a decent guy, even though he was pretty much absent from her life. I mean, the father was in absolute denial about what the mother was making Brooke do. In interviews, Brooke has been asked about her feelings back then, because, like, why didn't people step in? I mean, her father didn't agree with these choices, but he was kind of turning a blind eye. And her mother was, I guess, just too drunk to care and wanted to cash in on those checks. And that's really what it comes down to. It's all about the money. And the production companies knew how to take this 10, 11-year-old girl and put her on screen and, I guess, exploit her in a way to make all of that. So she was just kind of a victim of the process.
Mas isso não é só naquela época, não, porque você tem aí, por exemplo, MC Melody, entre outras crianças, principalmente as mais famosinhas do YouTube e tudo mais, que o pai não quer saber de mais nada, o pai faz os canais, sabe que entra uma grana violenta no canal e, cara, simplesmente vai monetizando em cima da criança, mano. Vai monetizando em cima da criança. Tem pais que param a vida pra transformar a criança numa modelo e eu quero que tenha um futuro assim promissor, eu quero que ela tenha tudo, que trabalhe, que tenha grana, isso e aquilo. E no final o pai também quer um pouquinho pra ele, né? Você tem a Larissa Manoela aí, colocou, que os pais colocaram desde pequenininho pra fazer as coisas. Isso daí seria abuso infantil? Até não sei até que parte que isso daí pode ser, mas ah, é complicado, complicadíssimo isso daí.
They were thinking it was rather inane. But it's all about what's going to sell. And that's what they were focusing on. They wanted controversy, and they got it.
Brooke does speak highly of her father. Frank actually divorced her mother, Terry, when Brooke was an infant. And even though she was raised by her mother, she always wanted her father to be proud of her. And I'm sure her father was a motivating factor for her because she just wanted to be a good person, especially seeing her mother drunk all the time and being a successful drunk. Because it's not like Terry was clearly falling over. She knew how to operate as an alcoholic and how to get Brooke into work while staying drunk.
An alcoholic, a good one. And child of an alcoholic learns at a very, very early age how to navigate a situation, how to read a room, and how to keep the person they love alive. And from the time I could remember, my mama, I was protecting my mama. She was my life force. She was my food source. She was my go-to. She was everything. And that I needed that. And it was us against the world.
I think one of the reasons why Brooke doesn't have resentment against her mother is because when she was young, their roles switched. Like Brooke started to make the money and to feed the family. And she had to take care of everyone. So she didn't have time to be a kid or to be angry at her mother because she needed to make sure everyone was okay, which is a lot of pressure. Brooke's mother, Terry, was her manager since Brooke was 11 years old. Unfortunately, Terry passed away in 2012. When talking about her documentary, she told New York Times that it's going to discuss explicit roles and situations she was in as a child. And when it comes to these situations, she's got plenty. It's actually really horrific doing research on her story because she's been through so many experiences that a lot of people would just crumble at the first one. And then the second one, the third one, the fifth one, she's gone through way too much.
É muita responsabilidade pra jogar pra uma criança, mano. E por mais que essa criança, putz, ela deveria amar muito a mãe dela pra poder fazer isso, né? E outra coisa, o pai dela principalmente abandonou, né? Não tem outra palavra pra falar. O cara abandonou a filha, né? Porque assim, se fosse pai de verdade, mano, teria dado Mano, primeiro abuso da mãe já tinha feito ela parar, mano. Porque não é assim. Não é assim. E o pai era ausente, como falou. Mano, tudo errado.
Documentary captures the sheer magnitude of how she was at such a young age.
They say that on the set you felt very uncomfortable during all this. Is that true?
It might be a little uncomfortable, but I knew that it was going to be in good taste and it wasn't any porno movie and feel so bad about it.
That didn't end at Pretty Baby. Brooke was also sexually objectified at age 14 in Blue Lagoon. She filmed Endless Love when she was 15.
If you look at Brooke's career in the grand scheme of things, you would see that she wasn't only exploited throughout her roles, but also behind the scenes, because now she's opening up about a traumatic experience she went through. She shares a story about a time she was and she blamed herself, which this occurred back when she was in her 20s.
Brooke shares terrifying details of when she was sexually assaulted by a Hollywood executive 30 years ago. At the time, she had just graduated from Princeton University, but she was at the lowest point in her career.
When is it going to end? There are so many victims in Hollywood of these executives, and it's just way too much. It's like every single star has a story. So this
Outra verdade também, porque você vê os famosos testes de sofá. Cara, bem, colocando aqui o que ela falou, ela não ligava muito até certo ponto, porque ela via que aquilo ali era arte e era um jeito dela, né, performar. Mas, lógico, ela por dentro devia estar toda quebrada. Mas mesmo assim, tudo em prol da arte. Não é assim, mas coitada.
was around college time, and she just graduated from Princeton. Her career kind of flatlined, so she went to dinner with a Hollywood executive who she thought was going to give her a gig.
Very hard for me to get work at that point. And I still needed to make money.
What happened after the dinner?
You know, it didn't. I became a victim of and was never going to talk about it.
It's clear that it's difficult for Brooke to talk about this, and really heartbreaking that she was going to keep it inside her entire life. Brooke says that he invited her back to his hotel room. Once there, she claims that he essayed her, but doesn't go into much detail. All she says is that she didn't fight back and felt guilty afterwards.
Brooke says the man lured her to his hotel room after they had a dinner meeting. After the assault, Brooke tried to tell herself it didn't happen.
Denial. Nope. You made this up. It's a mistake. I was alone in a different city that I didn't live in. I just wanted it to be away and done and never just burying my head in the sand.
Brooke was
Aí tá outra coisa que muitas vítimas aí fazem, né? Que falam que a culpa por no caso, ela foi, você sabe, né? O cara pegou ela e fez coisas, né? E ela se culpa, né? Ela coloca a culpa, joga a culpa totalmente pra ela. Cara, mano, coitada, velho. E assim, muitas vítimas fazem isso, né? Infelizmente.
quoted saying, I kept
Aliás, a sociedade faz isso com as mulheres, né? Faz elas se sentirem culpadas de algo que não é culpa dela, né? É o cara que foi um escroto que quer, principalmente os caras que tem que estão em posição de poder, esses caras de Hollywood. Cara, faz isso direto, mano. Vai fazer isso direto com um monte de gente que, tipo, quer começar a carreira, quer ter uma chance. Imagina aqui no Brasil também. Deve ter um monte de cara que seja assim, cara. Lixo humano, lixo. Não tem outro adjetivo pra colocar.
saying, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I go up with him? I shouldn't have had that drink at dinner. This sounds really horrific. She said, it was really easy to dissociate because it was a fight or flight type of choice. Fight was not an option, so you just leave your body. You're not there. It didn't happen. It's really powerful that Brooke is talking about this because it inspires other people who have gone through other situations to feel okay about what they've gone through, because Brooke Shields survived it, so she's kind of like a role model. And it seems like she's a role model for her daughters, who are 16 and 19, and they both probably feel really like icky learning that their mother had gone through all of this. Like, I would be so angry inside, but also, like, you can't help but to be proud of your mom for sharing all of this. And Brooke was quoted saying that it wasn't just a different era, it was a different era. It was completely different back then, and completely okay what Brooke had been exposed to.
They told me, they educated me too on the cast of Euphoria or others. He said that she was like, Mom, those are older people playing 17-year-olds. You were like 11 playing this, So I'm proud that they took a stand.
I'm glad that Brooke is here to teach her daughters what's right and to teach the world when her documentary comes out. So I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Here's my email, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.
Cara, sexualização infantil é um negócio que não é de hoje. E como o Felca colocou, né, no vídeo dele, as redes sociais estão aí que fazem com que esse assunto, ou melhor, as imagens estejam muito mais difundidas para quem quiser ver e quem quiser procurar. E tem um mercado gigante para isso, mas gigante para isso. É uma tristeza, é chato pra caramba, mas a gente precisa, assim, como sociedade, entender que isso daí é um sintoma de algo terrível. E a gente tem que se desvencilhar dessas coisas um pouquinho mais, um pouquinho, cada dia mais, né? Deixar isso daí, ó, ir pro limbo, acabar com isso. Por isso que a regulamentação nas redes sociais é muito importante para fazer com que acabe com esse tipo de abuso. Porque é isso que é. É um abuso. Tudo por conta de dinheiro. E é isso aí. Se você gostou do vídeo, deixe seu like, se inscreva aqui no canal, comenta aqui embaixo para que eu saiba o que você está pensando. Muito obrigado por ter ficado até agora comigo. Um beijo e tchau.